Hi, I'm Joseph Rittenhouse. Welcome back to Vietnam. I'm in Ho Chi Minh City. I've been here for about 60 days. I wanted this video to be about something that I see a lot, too much. It's a daily thing. That's people worrying about politics, the news, what's going on in the world. I'm not a super successful real estate investor. I only make about $70,000 a year, and my net worth is about $250,000. I'm a small-time guy. I started working in 2012, and I retired in 2016. I've been retired for 2 years now. And looking back on the things I did and things I didn't do, I noticed some behaviors that were effective and some behaviors that were ineffective. And I noticed one of the effective behaviors that I had was not paying attention to politics or the news. And all the time, it's pretty much a daily thing. I notice everywhere I go, any country I go to, that people are so worried about politics and the news. And I have to kind of be hard on them and ask them a couple hard questions. I'm going to share those questions with you right now. Number one is, who are you to even be commenting on what's going on at the national or international level when it comes to politics or economics? Do you have the education? Do you have the experience to even be having any sort of say or decision making at this level? Remember when we were in school, you decided to go this way. You decided to get this job. You didn't go into politics. You didn't get educated on economics or political science or international trade. Do you have any experience in international trade? Do you have any experience in regulation? You probably don't. So if you're like me, I realized real quick, I probably shouldn't be commenting on too many of these things, or at least not commenting on them very confidently, because if I were to say anything politically, chances are I'm very uneducated, very unaware of what's actually going on. So I learned very early on in my journey to financial freedom to pretty much just stay out of any politics. News. I would ask you, what does it have to do with you? You watch something on the news, something bad happened. What does it have to do with you? Does it really change your life at all? We live in one of the greatest times in human history, 2018. Education has never been more available. Safety has never been so high. Danger has never been so low. The chances of you being killed or your family starving to death are so low, almost impossible, that it's time to back away from worrying about being killed and starving to death. That time has passed. And actually, maybe within our bodies, we still have the fear of those things because it's in our bodies to be afraid that someone's going to take something from me, or I might be killed, or I might starve to death. But the chances of these things actually happening in 2018 are so low that it's silly, almost silly. When I see people worrying about politics, it doesn't make sense to me because they have no influence on politics. When I see people worrying about what's going on in the world, it looks silly to me because it has almost no impact on your life. So when you go to work. The purpose of you working is so that you can make money to get somewhere. You had some sort of goal, right? You had some sort of destination that you were trying to get to. What was the reason for you going to the interview when you first got that job? I think a lot of people have forgotten the initial reason why they got a job. And they get their job and they start to make it part of their identity. They start to make friends, they start to make enemies, they start to get too involved in the politics of work. When I went to work as a bus driver, I knew from the very first day that this was just a step on the ladder to where I was going. I already knew I was going to be purchasing rental property. And so when I started working, I had a very clear mind about what my role was there. It was go to work, try to just have as much fun as possible, try to learn as much as possible, but I would not be here forever. So I went to work feeling very light. I didn't take it too seriously. I just had fun and tried to have fun each day and try to learn something each day. I didn't make enemies at work because it wasn't that serious. I had some friends at work because I wanted to make it a little bit easier to pass the time, and it was interesting to learn about people around me. I didn't get involved in politics at work because I knew I wasn't going to be around for a long time. And if I do start to get involved in politics, I'm going to probably start to make enemies. I'm going to start to offend people. Why would I want to do that if I'm only going to be there for 5 or less years? To me, a job was just a step along the journey. Maybe you want to continue to work in your field, that's fine. But remember that at the end of the day, it's just a job. It's not who I am. In my mind, I knew I would just be working for a couple of years and I would take the money to purchase rental real estate. If you're an employee at the lower levels in your company, you have almost no impact on the middle management or upper management in your company. So don't worry about it. Keep your mouth shut. Be a good worker. Be someone that everyone likes, but they don't know your name. The best way you could be at your work is nobody knows your name. Just lay low. You don't want people to know your name at work. Some people take work too personally. When it comes to politics, who has it really been effective at all? Think of all the times that you've worried about politics. Maybe you've even written letters. Maybe you've even protested or gotten out. Has it really had any sort of positive impact on your life? Probably not. But it probably has had a big negative impact on your health, your ability to stay focused. You've probably come home angry. You probably have arguments with your friends and family about the politics at work, the politics of the world. You are so little and unimportant that it's almost silly to consider that you would even think that you have some sort of influence on national or international politics. And I learned real quick to be very humble and realize that I'm just a small-time guy. I'm not a multi-millionaire. I don't have a big, large network of influence. I'm a small-time guy, so I better not waste my time on even thinking that I'm important. The sooner I can focus on myself and planning my own finances, managing my own time, and just trying to stay as healthy as possible and make as much money as possible at work, the better. You can't even manage your own budget. How would you manage the budget of the country? You can't even take care of your own resources. How would you know anything about the resources of the world or of the countries? You can do that later when you become a multimillionaire, or if you want to, you can go back to college and you can get the degrees and the certificates and get involved in politics. But if you're just gonna be a worker, if you're just gonna be someone who doesn't read, somebody who does not really take it serious, and you want to go all in on politics, then don't waste your time even looking at it. I suggest that you completely don't even care about what's going on in politics. Same goes with the news. The years I worked from 2012 to 2016, I didn't care at all about the news. I didn't care about the work, politics. I didn't care at all about the politics of the country or the world. I didn't even vote. I tried voting when I was younger and I realized that I had very little influence on politics, so I stopped even worrying about that. When it comes to news, you have to be very careful. Look at Yahoo News, for example. It's just garbage. It's nothing but China, Russia, China, Russia. And they're playing off your biological fears, the fears that we used to have 10,000 years ago, the fear of losing, the fear of being killed, the fear of starving to death, the fear of having my home taken away from me. They feed you these fears on the internet news, on the YouTube channel, because they want you to click and they want you to keep reading. But when I read through these articles or I watch these videos, it's almost silly. I read articles about how bad China is, and then I go to China and I'm thinking, this is pretty great here. I'm eating great vegetables. I'm having a great time at these huge, beautiful, fun malls. It's a little bit of a disconnect. So when I go back and start reading all these bad things about the world, about China, it doesn't make sense. So in a way, you're kind of being fooled. They're feeding off of your fears and your worries so that you'll continue to watch the news. You'll continue to click on their website links. The YouTube is totally, the news is just nothing but garbage. Just nothing but China, Russia, war, fear. It's, I don't even read it. I do go to look at it to remind myself of what I should not be reading. I do go to Yahoo News to remind myself of what to not pay attention to, because it's just so ridiculous. Even YouTube, you have to be careful because YouTube has gotten a lot more, well, you know, it's growing in popularity. More people are using it. It's also gotten a lot more clickbaity. You'll even notice that the little thumbnails on people's videos have gotten modified. They change the picture. They're trying to get your attention. They'll put some crazy picture there. They'll put lines in bright colors to try to get your attention. That's a sign that this video probably does not have any useful information in it. They'll try to use women. I'll see women with a lot of makeup on or showing their body. I know that right there, that whoever made that video is trying to manipulate me and try to get me to watch the video. It probably doesn't have a lot of useful content. If I see words such as how to be happy, how to be successful, chances are that it's not going to be a very useful video. That's probably going to have a lot of fluff in it. Because when you watch those videos, it's things like, you just got to work hard, you just got to do it every day, man. But they don't actually tell you useful, difficult things. Because change is difficult. The journey to financial freedom for me, it was difficult and it involved a lot of internal difficult challenges and changes. The people that I watch and I read online, and the videos that I watch online, they're not popular, they're not sexy. The things that they talk about are hard to listen to, they're not politically correct. I don't want people to tell me things that I want to hear. I want to be told something that I need to be told, not something that I want to hear. So the videos that I watch are often involve me considering what they're talking about, thinking about it, and involve some sort of difficult question I have to ask myself, or involve some sort of change that's going to have to take place. Be careful of getting too wrapped up in your work. Be careful of the news. I suggest that you just turn your television off completely. I don't watch television. I especially don't watch news. These pop funny news programs, a lot of it is just garbage and had zero impact on me getting to where I'm at today. Stay away from the news, politics. Don't get too involved in work. From Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, I'll talk to you later.